So for everybody wondering, this is how you get fired. It is Friday, and we are excited to have Sazone bring their food truck out to Firepunk. This is a local Plain City restaurant that has a food truck. They have good street tacos, Latin food, and they're going to be setting up here from noon to 2, and we're going to have some people from the community stop by, along with E&R Tire and Firepunk. We're all going to eat lunch, and we are excited for some good food.
Ordered off the kids menu. Steak and cheese quesadilla. Chicken cheese quesadilla. Some fries. Finishing off with some churros. How you eat.
How'd you get your food already?
I don't know how he got his food before I did.
Yep.
Alright, we're finally back to working on Tugger. We had a lot of other projects going on to where we had pushed this thing off to the side for a while, and pretty much Josh had told me as long as it's ready for racing, then he's good. So we're back at it. We're just working on getting this pillar mocked in. I had done a mock-up previously, and the longer I sat there and looked at it, the more I didn't like it. So I scrapped that and started over. Definitely a lot more challenging coming through the dash on a Duramax than it is on a Dodge. I'm not sure how much of a habit I'm going to be making of doing this, but so far pretty happy with what I've got started here. I've got this top section actually pretty much mocked up. Cody's tacking a few pieces together, so putting together a sectioned piece, it's a lot easier to do it one bend at a time, and then once I have the whole thing tacked together, I can take it out and I can check all my angles and my rotations and everything, and I can build my one-piece bar off of that. So pretty much have that wrapped up. We've got a mock-up hoop in here right now. This is a experimental hoop that we had done a while back, and it's close to what we need, so I was able to get it put in here and use it to know what changes I want to make to it. So that's going to be my next step, is to get that thing to get the right one made up for that, and then just keep going a piece at a time from there. So hopefully after we have this first one done, we'll have a template to work off of a lot better on Chevys down the road.
Alright, today we have a 2012 here, came in here from Florida for a 48 RE swap. It originally came in with an Allison conversion in it, and it had gotten to the point where he'd had to go through a few of them to get frustrated enough that something's gone on. We had noticed the transmission lines got hot enough that it had melted the yellow plastic on the fittings, and the converter is obviously all kinds of colors and not what it's supposed to look like. So I will be on the lookout for potential causes to that issue, and in the meanwhile, I guess it's work on. We got to move some power wires around, being that they had the starter on the opposite side when they did the Allison conversion. Doing a little bit different there, pulling the controllers out for the Allison. Some different things that I'm running into from a standard 48 RE swap, but it's progress, so it's another day.
Hi all you cool cats and kittens, this is Cody Fisher from Big Cat Rescue, and we're gonna dog so we have Chris Willis's 2011 in here. Basically it's getting a set of side-by-side 400s, so we ended up going with some stainless 5 blades. That's what he wanted, and so we're kind of finishing up downpipe and some air filter stuff. So with it being a 6.7, we actually do have to run a full intake for the map and the intake air temp sensor. So with a 5.9, typically we just put an air filter on the atmosphere charger and it'll work perfectly fine. But with it being a 6.7, it changes things up a little bit. So waiting on some stuff for that to show up, and yeah, finishing downpipe up and plumbing. So I think we're pretty close to it, but I'm just still chugging along, and I think I'm just rambling on at this point.
Luke Cantley's 2003 manual truck on the dyno. Just mainly looking for a tune, not necessarily max effort. He thinks it might have the stock clutch in it. He's not really sure. Bought the truck like this and recently added a Tater-built 63.5, 67 stock appearing turbo with a Steed Speed manifold. I think he has a AFE intake and an exhaust on it. Also has a lift pump on it. Other than that, it's stock from what he knows. So made a baseline pull, made 204 horsepower. So that's what he came in with. We flashed a HP Tuners tune file into it, and with a pretty conservative tune file, and ended up at 582 horsepower and 986 foot-pounds of torque. So he's happy with it. He was thinking he had to add injectors yet on top of the turbo that he did to get to the power that he's at now that we made today. We're thinking it might have injectors in it from when he bought the truck. We're not really sure, but 582 horsepower for just a turbo and manifold that he added is a really good number for an 03 early 04 truck. So I will get him off the dyno and send him on the way.